Hello, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to contribute to an open source project with GitHub. In general, we follow the fork and pull Git workflow. The first thing to do is to fork the repository on your own GitHub account. Go ahead and open the link of that project in your web browser. Once that's done, what you want to do is to click on this button, fork, which is going to create a copy of this repository on your own GitHub account. As you can see, I have already forked that. Once the repository has been forked, go to your own copy and then click on code. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to create a copy of this repository on our local machine. So I'm going to copy the link to this repository and then close this. Now I'm going to open a terminal. But first, what I want to do is I want to make sure I have Git installed. So to check that, I'm going to check the version of Git installed. As you can see, I have Git 2.25 installed. If you don't have Git installed, go ahead and follow the link in the description to install Git. So now, what I want to do is to clone that repository to my local machine. Alright, I've used the command git clone plus the link to my repository, and it has copied or cloned that repository to my local machine. As you can see, this is a folder here. I have a folder called Mumbo with all the project files. After cloning the repository, what I want to do is to add a link to the original repository to my local repository. To do that, you have to use the command git remote add upstream. But first, let's check all the links which our repository have. Oh, okay, I'm not in that repository folder. For me to enter into that repository folder, I have to use the command cd. The name of the project is Mumble, and now I'm in the repository folder. Then I'm going to use the command git remote -v. As you can see, I have only this link to that repository. That is, this is a link to my GitHub account or the link to my own copy of that repository. That means I can either fetch information or fetch changes and push changes to that repository. So what we are going to do now is we are going to add the upstream, that is the link to the original repository, using the command as shown. So git remote add upstream is going to add the link to the original repository on my local repository. So I'm going to type that in and press enter. Once that has been done, I'm going to check now the origins or the remote, sorry. As you can see now, I have origin and I have upstream. The origin is a link to my copy of the repository, while the upstream is a link to the original repository where I can fetch for updates. Once that has been done, what I want to do now is to make sure my repository is up to date with the master branch of the upstream. So to do that, I'm going to use the command git fetch upstreams, which is going to fetch all the updates which have been made on that master branch, on the original master branch. So git fetch upstreams. So as I press enter, it's going to fetch all the updates, and as you can see, it has fetched them. After fetching all the updates, what you want to do is to move to the master branch of your local repository using the command git checkout master. So I'm going to use this, and as you can see, I'm already on the master branch. So once you're sure you're on the master branch, what you want to do now is to git merge the upstream to that master branch. So you want to get these updates from the master branch and merge it to the master branch of your local repository. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, as you can see, it has outputted already up to date. If there were some updates that were made to the upstream or the original project repository, they are going to be added right now. But since my branch is already up to date, no changes has been made. So After doing that, in case there were changes, what you want to do next is to git push origin master. Since you have gotten the update from the upstream to your origin master branch, what you want to do now is to push that origin master branch to your GitHub copy. That is to update it on your GitHub account. So I'm going to use the command git push origin master. Alright, it's asking for my username. Alright, after asking for your username and your password, it's going to push those changes to your copy of the repository. But as I mentioned earlier, my repository is already up to date, and if I refresh this, it's going to show that my repository is up to date. So this branch is even with Divanov 11 master, which is a origin or the upstream. So if there were any changes that I did not have on this or on my repository, it was supposed to show me that this branch is behind, or it was supposed to indicate here that I have some changes that have not been merged or added to this my master branch. Alright, after making sure that my master branch is up to date with the upstream, what I want to do now to make any change is to create a local branch or to create another branch. This is to avoid conflicts. For example, what we do here is you always keep your master branch up to date with the upstream, and in case you want to do any change, what you do is you create a branch from the master branch using the command git checkout. So I'm going to use that command and create a new branch where I'm going to update. So git checkout -b, then the name of your branch. I'm going to call my branch demo, and to check the different branches available, I'm going to use a command git branch. Alright, as you can see, I have two branches available. I have the master branch and I have the demo branch. As I mentioned earlier, you don't have to make any change on the master branch. The master branch is just to keep your repository up to date with the upstream or the original branch. Meanwhile, you create other branches to make updates and later on create pull requests. So now I've switched to a branch called demo, and what I want to do now is to create or make my changes to this branch. So I'm going to make those changes on VS Code. I'm going to open VS Code, then open the folder having my project files. Okay, as you can see, I've opened it. Then here is it. Once that is done, I'm going to open the terminal, and once the terminal is open, I'm going to make sure I'm on that branch. So I'm going to use the command git checkout, then enter the name of the branch where I want to make the updates, which is called demo. Oh, sorry, I was trying to create a branch called demo. Okay, this command git checkout -b demo checks if there is a branch. It creates a new branch called demo. Meanwhile, the command git checkout takes you or moves you to that branch or switch branch. So now I'm sure that I'm on the demo branch. Now I can go ahead and make my changes. So here I'm going to make changes to the contributing.mz. So I already prepared those changes here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste that here. Okay, so once you're on the branch where you want to make those changes, what you want to do now is to make your changes, then prepare them for committing. So as you can see, I've made changes to the contributing.mz, which can be seen here. Okay, once I have made those changes, what I want to do now is I want to add all the files that have been changed to my commit. And to do that, I'm going to use a command git add dot. This is going to add all the files that have modified or made changes to. I press enter. Now it has added those files. What I want to do next is to commit those files, or commit those changes, sorry. So now I'm going to use this command git commit -n, then now with my message or my commit message, then press enter. Okay, as you can see, my file has been, my changes have been committed. So what I want to do next is to push those changes to my GitHub account, or to the copy on my GitHub account. So I'm going to use the command git push. Let me clear the terminal. Okay, I'm going to use the command git push origin demo. So what this does, it pushes the changes I've done on the branch called demo on my local machine to my origin. Remember that the origin is a copy of the project that I have on my GitHub. So I'm going to push those changes to that origin. So git push origin demo, and it's asking for my username. Okay, it's pushing just those changes. As you can see, those changes have been pushed. So now if I come now to my origin or my own repository of the project, I'm going to see that a new branch has been created, and that branch is called demo. And what I can do now is I can go ahead and create a pull request in such a way that the maintainer of the project now is going to see the changes I've made to the repository and merge them to the main repository. So here I'm good to go. I have a message, and if I want to add a description, I'm going to add a description here. Then I go ahead and create a pull request. Once the pull request has been created, it's going to appear here in such a way that the maintainer now can come and check all the pull requests and merge them to the main branch or the master branch. Once those changes have been added to the master branch, what you want to do now is to update your master branch. And finally, if you want to make any change, you proceed and do the changes. So what you have to note is, number one, you should never commit on the default branch or on the master branch. This is to avoid conflict. So what you do is you make sure your master branch is up to date, then you create a new branch where you're going to make all your changes. Once that branch has been created, you commit your changes and push them to your origin or your copy or to your GitHub account, and then create a pull request. Secondly, after making a change, you should not make another change on that same branch. For example, right now I'm on the Git branch. Right now I'm on the demo branch, and if I want to make now any other change, what I want to do is I have to move to the master branch, then I'll create a new branch from the master branch before making any changes. This is because if I create a new branch while I am on demo, it's going to take all the changes that I have on demo and continue from there in such a way that I'll be having two changes that I've made, the one from demo and the new changes I'll be making. So that's not advisable. What you want to do is you use demo to make changes and submit them for pull requests. And in case you want to do any other changes, what you want to do is you create another branch from the master branch. So to do that, you have to switch to your master branch using the command git checkout. All right, I've switched to the master branch. Once I'm on the master branch now, I can go ahead and create a new repository where I'm going to make my new changes. As you can see, now I'm on the new branch. Like I said, if you create a new branch while you're on demo, it's going to take the changes you made on demo and then add them again with the extra changes you're going to make on this branch, which is not what you want. Because in case a pull request of demo was merged on the upstream master branch, what is going to happen is that in case they merge this other pull request from you, that original or that upstream master branch is going to have the pull request from this and this, or the changes from this and this, which might create conflicts. And lastly, after you make a pull request, what you want to do is you make sure that each time a pull request have been merged, you make sure that your master branch is up to date with the original repository, so that each time you want to make a change, the change is from the updated master branch. With that said, thank you for watching and have a nice day.